Don't you wish the woman in your life was this hot? Oh mama, that's right. It's Rector Drath, and she's a whole lot of woman. I mean, who couldn't get lost staring into those deep blue, black... Does she have eyes? I can't tell if she has eyes. Anyway, this beauty is Rector Drath. Now, you might be thinking she's not that much to look at on the surface, but beauty is more than skin deep, my friends. You need to look under the hood. Let me rephrase. You need to look deeper into this unit and what she'll bring to your team, and you get her for free. For free if you use my download link or scan that QR code. You will start the game with Rector Drath. She is the strongest epic healer in this game. She'll bring people back from the dead. She'll give you continuous healing. She puts perfect veil. She stealths your units, makes them impossible to hit, or reduces the damage if they get clipped by some AoE. She is, oh my God, she is the support unit of your dreams, right? She may not be the easiest thing on the eyes, but she's cool as hell, guys. Let's be real. Let me explain to you why you want this unit, but also let me explain to you that not only will you get the strongest epic healer in the game if you use that QR code, you will also get to start the game with the legendary hero Eleneral, who is a bossing monstrosity. She drops poisons, and she's got the best A1 skill in the game with a strong, unresistible HP burn, so you can really drop high health monsters. You're having trouble chonking through some of these dungeons where you got to fight dragons and giant knights. She is really good there because poisons and HP burns scale off the target's HP rather than her own attack, making her a powerhouse support unit. Even at level 50, she will be able to make huge gains for you. And you get her for free, just for starting, using that link or using that QR code for free. You'll start out with Eleneral, and once you hit level 15, you will get Rector Drath, again, for free at level 15, which will take you a couple of hours of play tops. And then once you're done with that, you slide over to the promo codes, and you come in here and you enter Supreme 6, and you will get Supreme Gallic, again, for free. So now you have got your poison hero. Now you have got your support hero to keep everyone alive, and now you've got your DPS hero to drop major damage, because Supreme Gallic, I mean, just look at this guy and tell me he doesn't scream damage. He drops tons of HP burns, he synergizes with HP burns, which makes him work really well with Eleneral. He will be a really good stage clearing, arena stomping monster, so you want to get your Supreme Gallic on your team. And of course, there's still time left. You go over to this sidebar, you click on the Alice Chase button, and in 7 days you will pick up Alice the Wanderer. Really, really good lockdown control unit, turns off the enemy skills, does tons of damage. Her stats may not look like much to look at, but her mods more than make up for it. She's got some of the hardest hitting skills in the arena right now. In fact, if you go and take a peep at the arena, you will see Alice, Alice, and also Rector Drath, right? She's everywhere too. So these are units that you want on your team. They're really good starter units for both arena as well as bossing, as well as clearing. It gives you the best start you could have. But let's talk a little bit more about the lady of the hour, Rector Drath, the woman in the black dress. So what does Rector Drath bring to the table? Well, one of the cool things about Rector Drath is her skills, her healing, right? She heals all allies by 20% of her max health. And that's crazy. She doesn't heal a percentage of their health. She doesn't heal a flat amount. She heals it based on her health. So you're going to want to stack a boatload of HP on her to make this heal impactful, to practically make it a full heal for everyone on the team. After healing, places perfect veil buff for 2 turns on all allies. A 2-turn perfect veil. From those of you from other games, you might know perfect veil more as a stealth skill, right? It stealths your entire team. It makes them so they cannot be targeted except by AoE hits, or if everybody's on perfect veil, they can still be targeted like normal, but perfect veil greatly reduces the incoming damage, right? You can click on this more info tab and read more about it. So we go down, we find perfect veil, and it reduces incoming damage by 15%. So just some mitigation on top of not being targetable. If the allies are full HP, they get Perfect Veil, and if they are not full HP, they get a continuous healing buff for 2 turns. So that will help them heal up. So if they're even more hurt, they don't get veiled, but they get continuous healing. That's the A2 skill. The A1 skill has a 35% chance of putting a 50%, that's the big one, a 50% attack break on the target. So Perfect Veil reduces incoming damage by 15%, and she takes 50% of the target's attack away with her A1 skill. It goes up to 40% chance once you book it out. I need to finish booking my Rector Drath, so I will work on that once the next CVC tournament. Clan versus clan. Little pro tip from me to you: don't skill up your characters. Don't use books to raise their skills until you're in the middle of a CVC tournament. You can get some personal rewards from it if you can avoid it. And lastly, her A3 skill revives a single target, healing them to 60% of their health, filling their turn meter, and by that it means it pushes them to the front of the line and they get to take a turn. So it fills them by 60%, which, I mean, that means they're pretty much going next. Unless they're all the way back on the line when they died, they're going to get a turn pretty much right away. And it puts a 3-turn Perfect Veil on them so that they come back with 1/3 of their health, or with, sorry, 2/3 of their health. They get to take turns, and then they stay stealth for a while, so it's harder to kill them. So it's a great way to bring important heroes back and make sure they stay alive. Her passive skill, so you want to get her to 3-star awakened to unlock the passive skill. And once you get her to 3-star awakened, her passive skill is that whenever an ally is under Veil or Perfect Veil buff, that they will heal 10% of their own max HP. And it also is going to increase the resistance by 50%. So they're going to have a 50% resistance buff, and that is huge down the road when you start building ER teams, building resistance teams. Oh, and side note, you can only increase the resistance one time if there's multiple Rectors on the team, in case you decide you want to run 2 of these ladies at once. Her aura does give 55 resistance in Doom Tower, so she will evidently be great in Doom Tower. I've not unlocked the Doom Tower yet, so we'll have to see. As for blessings, blessings are more of a late game thing, but once you unlock her blessings, I think I would go with Survival Instinct. Partially fills her turn meter whenever a debuff is placed, spread, or transferred onto them. Occurs once per turn, so it's going to help her take more turns, right? Now, let's talk about her gear. Rector Drath heals based on her own health. So you want to stack her health as much as possible. I've actually managed to get her to 35k HP, even though I'm relatively low level. And you want to stack a little bit of defense on there too, so that she stays alive. It's important that your Rector Drath doesn't get killed. You also want to build her fast. It's easy to want to put her on HP boots, and that might be okay for some PvE, I guess, but you want her to cycle her turns, right? Her heals are important. Her veil is important. Her ability to raise units back from the dead is clutch, and if she is moving at the speed of a turtle, you're not going to be able to do these things. So you're going to stack speed and HP on her. Those are the 2 most important things. Now, her A1 skill is the only skill with a debuff, and it's just a 40% chance after skill ups, chance to attack break. It's not super impactful, right? It's a nice little perk, but I would not bother with accuracy, right? I would focus just on speed, health, and defense. That's all she needs. She doesn't need damage. Eventually, you'll probably want to build her on res because you don't want her crowd controlled or to have her turns removed. But early game, speed, HP, defense. I think in that order. You want her to take more turns to do more tricks. You want her to be healthy so her tricks are impactful. You want her to be defensive so she doesn't die. Everything else is icing on the cake for the early game. As you climb into the mid and late game, you'll probably focus a little bit more on resistance. So a very easy unit to build and a very easy unit to book, because remember, her skill ups are based on the epic books, and it's much easier to get epic books than it is to get legendary books. So you'll find being able to skill her up easier. In fact, I only have 1 skill up left on her A1, and that's a debuff chance. Maybe I'm going to use this somewhere else on another one of my 4-star units because I don't really care about her attack down. I would have stopped probably as soon as these two skills had their cooldowns, I would have stopped, but unfortunately it kept rolling into the damn A1, but that is what it is. So, yeah, that's pretty easy. And again, Ascension, you want to make sure you get her to the 3-star Ascension. That's the point where she gets the skill where she automatically triggers healing to units that are under Perfect Veil. So bottle her to 3-star for sure. If you want to take her to 4 or 5-star, that's great. Not necessary. It's just more basic stats, which means more basic healing. Now, she is a candidate for 6-star, even though I've said before that support heroes do all their tricks at level 50, and that's true. But Rector Drath's healing scales off her own HP, and if you take her to 6-star, her healing is going to be that much more impactful because she will get 6-star stats. So, she is on my list of units to be my next 6-star. I'm not positive yet who my next 6-star is going to be. I'm still wrestling with it. If you guys have any good ideas, let me know in the comment section. I would appreciate it. As for her masteries, she's a unit that the masteries help, but they're definitely not worth spending 800 diamonds to get all of her masteries. I'm going to slowly farm her masteries through the Minotaur's maze and just get the scrolls that way and build her up as she goes. As for which masteries to pick, this is the recommended tree for having her be a healer and a reviver, and that's my principal focus on it. Again, I strongly recommend that you don't just copy and paste what other people are recommending, that you look at the skills. You click on the individual skills and see what they do, and you see why would I pick this one over this one, right? Well, resistance is not that big of a deal early on for her, but defense is. You want her to stay alive, so that's probably why we went the defense tree. Why over here? Accuracy versus max HP. Well, her healing scales off her max HP, so that's a no-brainer. Her accuracy only helps that attack break on her A1 skill, and that's her only debuff, so that's not a big deal. Look at all the skills. Read each one. Familiarize yourself with the tree, and suddenly building your own units will be easier. All the trees are the same, but the way you line them up is going to be different based on the units and based on their needs and based on how you're going to play them. And that's one thing I love about this game, is you can build a unit one way for PvE, one way for PvP, one way for a specific boss, one way for general. So it really lets you custom tailor the units to your needs, and you're only going to be able to build to your needs if you understand how the trees work, what the stats give, what the stats do. So definitely take a few minutes to peruse them and try to wrap your brain around why this tree is recommended for a heal reviver style Rector, who early on, that's the way you want to build her. As for gear, early on, the HP set is really good because it gives you 15% more health, and she's got high base health, and that's what lets me get to such high health early on. Even at level 50 to be at 35k health, I'm running 2 HP sets, because remember, it's a 2-piece set, so I'm getting a 30% boost to HP by having 2 of these sets. You can go with a third one for an additional 15% or 15, but I wanted my Rector to be faster than 150 speed. I wanted her to be able to take some turns, so I went ahead and used a speed set with HP main stats on the gauntlet and on the armor, and speed main stat on the boots. Look at these boots, man. These boots just rolled so good for Rector. It's kind of tragic they hit flats at the end, but you know what? If I got to hit flats, HP and defense for Rector, I take it. These worked out perfect for her. Overall, here's my stats again. You can see the general spread. Work on defense, work on HP, work on speed. All she needs. Easy unit to build. I haven't gotten a Night Revenant rings yet, but once I do, I'll slap one on her as well. So that's it, guys. One of the easier characters to build and one of the more impactful ones. You can take her into arena to save your life. You can take her into bossing fights to make you push deeper than you ever could before. Give her a try. I think you're really going to like having this unit on your account, and it's easy to have this unit on your account. You just use that promo code. You scan that QR code, and you get Rector Drath for free, and you get Legendary Eleneral for free. And then you get Supreme Gallic and Alice just by doing the promo codes and completing the Alice chase. 3 legendary heroes and Rector Drath, who, although she's an epic, she acts like a legendary in this game, guys. Just for starting out with that promo code. So jump in there, get started, Get this beauty on your account, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, everybody.